Live from the motherfucking gridiron, DJ Deedzy. It's been a long time, man. Where you been, man? Hey, man, I've been doing my motherfucking thing. Really, man? Goddamn me. What inspired you to do what you do, man? Say, man, I just been getting to the motherfucking grizzly, man. That's how I do what I do.
So, PimpingKen, let me ask you a question. In all your years of pimping and all the things you have done, what would you estimate the total amount of money you done made off of pimping and hustling?
Man, I went platinum off the bitch and the game, so you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, man, we made, man, I can't even imagine. Just in clothes, I done bought millions in clothes, you know what I'm saying?
I believe
I done traveled, I got more miles than Southwest. You know
right,
what I mean?
Right.
Most of my cars had 100,000 miles on it. I'm talking about luxury foreign cars. I had every car they made, you know what I'm saying? Cars over 200,000. I had houses, worth $500,000, $700,000, you know what I'm saying? With big ass theater and so, we done made, over the years millions of dollars, you know what I'm saying? But you don't look at it like that.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the dude who worked at McDonald's, he worked there long enough, he gonna make $1 million.
Right.
The money comes in and it goes out.
Right.
But one thing I can say, that out of all the things that I've done in my life, I always been able to invest my money, you know what I'm saying? I always did pro moves on my own publishing company, you know what I mean, my own businesses, you know what I'm saying, my own little real estate, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't just take the money and just jerk it off, you know what I mean? I took the money and I invested it.
You use your money wisely.
Yeah.
You use your money wisely.
Yeah, in the next few years, I can tell you this though, you know what I mean? We be on a multi-million-dollar status. Some of the pro moves that we're making now is real profound, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said, my book is doing well. You know what I'm saying. My book is in all of the prisons, and just to give you an example, the first book, Pepology, you know what I'm saying, I made like 1.8 million off of that.
That's damn good.
You know what I'm saying. That's how many books we sold.
Yeah.
Damn near everybody in prison around the country bought that book.
Right.
You know what I'm saying. And a lot of people say, well, $1 million. Well, for those of you who don't understand math, you know what I'm saying, you add up 50 times 20, $20 times 50,000, you know what I'm saying? You probably get to $1 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, if you sell 400,000-500,000 books at $20 a pop, that's a lot of money. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? We got my other book, currently, The Art of Human Chess. We got the first book, 48 Laws of Game, Pepology. So, those are just a few streams of income. Then, my lady, you know what I'm saying, she's busting moves, doing dry cleaning businesses and other businesses, like restaurants and shit like that. So it's a lot of little things that we do. You know what I'm saying? Assets.
Right.
You got a lot of assets. Jewelry. Over the years, you put all my jewelry together. You're gonna get way into a ticket. You know what I'm saying? So, you can't really say how much money you make.
Right.
I used to gamble, you know what I'm saying? I probably fucked off, who knows, probably $1 million gambling.
The life of a hustler.
You know what I'm saying? So, I can't say how much money I made per se.
Right.
But I can just tell you, it's been a smooth ride.
Right.
And since I've been out of the penitentiary, I got out almost 30 years ago. I haven't fell off yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't asked nobody for nothing. I don't owe nobody nothing. I still, live well.
Right.
I still, drive well.
Right.
Of course, y'all filming in my business right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that, the city of Dallas been showing me a lot of love.
Right.
Magnificent been here. Mo 3 been here. 52 Savage been here.
Right.
Valentino been here. G Gub been here. All the players and pimps and hustlers, they done been here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your boy Yellow Beezy, I'm finna throw him up. He been here. So everybody's supportive of me.
Right.
It ain't like I'm just some Rudy Poop, moving to Dallas and trying to open up a business. It's like, I'm a boss amongst bosses, you know what I'm saying?
You are.
A lot of young bosses look up to me, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes that y'all look up to, they look up to me, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't extravagant. I ain't trying to make a scene or nothing. I'm just laid back, real smooth, trying to open up establishment in the town. And as a result of that, you know what I'm saying, I ain't received nothing but major support from these guys up here in Dallas. So, you know, I mean, it's different avenues and different ways to look at it, you know, of how we was able to achieve our money. But I'll tell you one thing, you know what I'm saying, I mean, you know, money we're gonna get a whole lot of it. Though.
Right.
We get a whole lot of money, man, one way or another.
Let me ask you something, PimpingKen. Now that you've been in the game so long, you are an OG in the game, you are a boss. You do have that status and nobody could ever take that away from you. You've been doing what you do for so many years and so much time. If somebody was to ask you to get back in the game and to start back your pimping, what would you say to them, knowing all the things you done went through, knowing how the pimping game done changed, and just knowing how things from pimping back in the day and how things done switched in the game now? What would you tell them if they ask you, PimpingKen, come back to the game?
I said, Oprah Winfrey, I need $1 billion. If Oprah want to choose up, she more than welcome. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we'll take some of that Oprah money. We'll take some of that, you know, that Nicki Minaj money, you know what I'm saying? You know, some of that Rihanna, they want to choose up, they come on.
Right,
you know,
right.
You just got to have a big bankroll, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, as far as, you know, from that lower level shit, you know, that, you know, on the street, on the corner, you know what I'm saying, internet shit, you know, I think that, you know, if you do the same thing at 50 that you did at 30, then you lost 20 years.
Right.
You know.
That's a good game. That's a good game.
You know, so you got to understand, I tell all your people, where there's the least appearance of evil, expect the greatest amount of danger. Just because, you know, the hand of the law has been delayed, that don't mean that the hand of the law is weakened.
Right.
You know, that's what conspiracy are. You know what I'm saying? They let you get money, they let you get money, they let you get money, they let you do what you want to do, then they hit you with conspiracy. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes you got to, you know, police yourself. I always told niggas, they said, when I got off parole, you know what I did? I stopped paroling myself. I put myself on probation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and, you know, I started telling myself, you know, look, don't drink. You know what I'm saying? Don't smoke. Don't hang around ex-convicts. The same thing the probation officer told me to do, I did to myself. So sometimes you got to parole yourself, you know, to stay out the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't know that everything we do in life, the penitentiary come with it. You know, pimping, the penitentiary come with it. Hustling, the penitentiary come with it. Selling drugs, the penitentiary come with it. So if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. To me, 1 day is a life sentence. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do 1 day. I'm like, I'm in jail for a day, I got life. Nigga. How much they gave me life? You got life, nigga. You get out tomorrow, nigga, that's life. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm too old to be in jail. I don't want to go to no penitentiary, so no, I'm not going to accept no whole money.
That's a good game.
You know, now I will, you know what I'm saying, me, you know, give a young lady some good game, you know what I'm saying, me, and try to lead her down the right path, tell her to take her money, invest it, or something like that, you know what I mean, if I can, and I can help her. But, you know, as far as getting out there and playing the role and playing the game and being her P, nah, I'm past that stage.
Well, PimpingKen, we're almost getting to the end of the interview. I want to ask you something. Over all your years of your pimping and your hustling and all the things you have done, would you say you done accomplished almost everything you wanted to accomplish out of your life?
Well, just let me give you a list of some of my accomplishments. First of all, Pimp of the Year, Mac of the Year, International Pimp of the Year. If you're a pimp, that's a good thing. You want to accomplish that. Leaving the pimp game, working with 50 Cent, Nelly, Too Short, Jermaine Dupri, Little Flip, Slim Thug, name them, everybody in the industry, being on 30 million records, that's an accomplishment. You know, being 55, owning my own businesses, you know, having, you know, some of the slickest cars the money can buy, still got all my jewelry, still got my sanity. 2 sons in college, 1 son about to graduate, a daughter with a master's degree, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, I raised them in a good environment. That's a good accomplishment. You know, so if I had to do it over, I would do one thing though, because in spite of me being PimpingKen, in spite of me going to the penitentiary, had those things never happened, I would never became the person who I am. So a lot of times, you know, you got to go through something to get to something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so You know, and I always tell people, I would advise you to go through what I went through, because my experiences might not be, you know, your experience. You might not be able to deal with the things I was able to deal with. One guy said, Ken, I want to be just like you. I said, okay, you got to get shot 5 times, you got to go to penitentiary for 10 years. I said, you got to go up, you got to go down. You know what I'm saying? You got to have people trying to cross you all your life. I said, you got to go through all kinds of stuff. You got to get hit by cars. You got to get stabbed. I said, you still want to be me? And he said, no, man, I'm cool, man. I'm just going to be me. I said, that's right, man. So you don't want to be me. You don't want to go through what I've been through. So, you know, those are things I try to tell people, man, you know, be a good original instead of be a cheap copy of somebody else.
Right.
So, you know, I don't regret nothing, man, you know. Like I said, man, you know, I mean, I lived a fabulous life. You know, I had some everything, man, you know what I'm saying? Every car, you know what I'm saying? I had it, you know what I'm saying? Every shoe, you know, from the Louis to the Gucci, all that, man, you know, to the Gators, I did it. Versace, all that. You know, look at my store. I got over $10,000 for cologne in here right now. Another Versace, Gucci. I want to throw that shit on. All I got to do is go on the shelf and spray it. It's mine. I own it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm cool, man. You know, I got a good relationship with God, man. I believe in God. You know what I'm saying? God has been good. You know, He saved me on a lot of cases. A lot of times I should have been dead. God saved my life. So, you know, I'm blessed, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, man, I wouldn't change my life for nothing in the world. I mean, shoot, I'm doing well.
PimpingKen. The last question I want to ask you is this. You've been in the game for a long time. You are an OG, you are a boss in the game. And I want to ask you something. You know how it is when it comes to businesses. You know how it comes to the entertainment business. You know how it comes out here with working with people in the industry. What advice would you give somebody that's trying to get in this game, trying to get in the entertainment business, trying to get out here in the business, get his own store going like you? Like, as you having this store, one thing about you being a pimp, you'll never invest your money into nothing that you don't see money coming out of. So what would you give what advice would you give to the young people out here that's just trying to start their own business, trying to do something entertainment, or I guess however it is out here?
First of all, I'm gonna just say this to all the young men out there. Look at it like this. A flip is a flip. Whether you're flipping hamburgers, whether you're flipping bitches, whether you're flipping cocaine, weed, all that.
Right.
You know, a lot of times, you know, people come here, you know, and we sell items, and, you know, a lot of people, we got the little trick items and stuff like that. Dudes come here, they spend $40, $50.
Right.
That's no different than they going to the weed house and spending $40, $50. I got items that cost $200, $300. I sell Versace, I sell Gucci, I sell Burberry, I sell Gucci Guilty, $140, $100.
Right.
They coming in there. Well, that's about how much money a trick get, a dad get to suck off a trick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? You know, it's about taking, you know, other things, you know, and looking at it the same way you look at the D game or you look at the P game. So this store, look how big it is when you enter. That's a hoe. This is a pussy.
Right.
So you understand me? This is my hoe. So I pimp on the store the same way I would pimp on the hoe.
Just the new pimping.
Yeah, if I was selling drugs, I would sell the things in here the same way I sell drugs, because I look at it like taking your game to the next level, switching your hustle. And that's what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to switch our hustle. But also, this is a key for all the young men. Income is not what you wear or what you drive. Income is what you invest and what you save. So you got to save your money, you got to invest it.
Right.
You know, money is like this. If you take $200 bills, you rub them together, they're going to fuck.
Right.
And they're going to create more $100 bills. You see what I'm saying? Then they're going to fuck. And they're going to create more $100 bills. And the more you take your money, the more you reinvest it, the more you accumulate, the more you're going to have.
Right.
And then after a while, they're going to fuck so long until you become fucking rich. You see what I'm saying? You know, if you put a group of jackrabbits in a pen and you tell them to have sex, they're going to produce a bunch of jackrabbits and they're going to multiply by the thousands. But that's how money is. Einstein, one of the greatest scientists in our time, said that there's two things that baffle him: quantum physics and the rate at which money grows, compound interest. You know, money in America is powerful because this is the only country where I know you can have $10 and then next year. I remember, man, one of my partners, he was a bum, he was on the streets, he started, you know, getting high and all that. Dude was bummy as hell. You know what I'm saying? He asked one of my partners to borrow him $10. He bought him $10. He went and bought a $10 bag. Get off that chair. He bought a $10 bag of crack, and he took the crack, and he bought the boulder from the dude, and then he went and he sold that to somebody else. Within about a year, the dude was one of the biggest hustlers in the city.
Right.
That's a bad analogy because it's talking about something negative, but I know people who also then took $20 and bought some socks, and then took them socks and end up selling other items, and then selling other items. Next thing you know, they had a storefront. Now, you know what I'm saying, they're in the mall. So, you know what I'm saying, no matter how you look at it, it's all about compound interest. It's about investing and saving your money. Because when you reinvest your money, whatever you invest, if you invest $200, you're gonna get $400. You invest $400, you're gonna get $800. $800, you're gonna get $1,600. $1,600, you're gonna get $3,200. That's how money works.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't spend it. You know what I mean? Because you can ride around on your 24s, your 28s, your 30s all day. But you just gave somebody else some money because the game is really buying wholesale and selling retail. So, you know what I'm saying? When you buy wholesale, then, you know what I'm saying, when you buy retail, you helping somebody else who bought wholesale. So what you need to do is you need to start buying wholesale and selling retail too. Now, this ain't for all of us. Some of us gonna work jobs, some of us gonna work, you know, in the factory, some of us gonna work on the oil fields. Business ain't for everybody. Some people don't have time, some people don't like to deal with people.
Right.
That's fine. Get your money too. But what I'm saying, if you want to grow in life and you want to have something, you're going to have to invest your money. And we got to practice group economics. All the young African Americans, brothers and sisters out there, remember, every time you spend money with the Asian, every time you spend money with the Greeks in Greek town, every time you spend some money in Chinatown, every time you spend some money in Jewtown or any one of those other towns, you're expanding that community. You're making that community big.
You're so
and what happens is that money bounces 8 to 10 times before it leaves their community. Where our money, we only bounce maybe once or twice. Then we go and we take the money out of our community. We go to Park Mall, we go to North Park Mall, and we spend our money with these people. And then when you see these people driving these Mercedes and these Rolls Royces, they live in these fabulous houses out there in the suburbs, you say, where did they get them houses from? But they got it from your money. But if you took their money and invested back into your community, then I would have to come now to get some cheese from you. You would have to come, you had to get some bologna from me. You had to come, you had to get this from me. And what we do is we support each other through group economics. And as long as we reinvest into each other, then that money never leaves our community. Our community expands. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, we get a black bank. So in the black bank, we say, we're gonna put $1 million in the black bank. Each one of us gonna put, 1,000 of us gonna put $100. That's $1 million. Okay, now we say, okay, we got this money. You know what I'm saying? That's 100,000 or whatever. So, you know, now we got this money and the money's in the bank. So we doing businesses with each other. So if I'm buying cheese from you or you buying t-shirts from me and I'm like a banker or I'm one of the financiers, you know what I'm saying? And we know that money, you know, I know that you do a business. Okay, Ken over at Big T, he putting $300-400 a day in the bank. He putting so they got a banking history now. So when I come to you and I say, hey man, I need a loan, you say, yeah, I know how much money business you're doing. You know, you good for a Ken. Right. But see, when you go to a white bank, they don't know the history of your business. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many other businesses and so many other ethnic groups that, you know what I'm saying, you get drowned out in that scenario. So when you go and try to get a bank, they're gonna be like, no, but they're gonna do businesses. They're gonna do business with the banks, you know, with the companies and the different investors that's right there in that community. So that's one thing you have to look at. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, when you invest in your own community, when you got a community bank, the bank know who you are. They know how to do business with you. So it's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's something that we have to be cognizant of and aware of. That, you know what I'm saying? I mean, until we start doing business with each other, until we start putting our money in black banks, we ain't gonna never grow as a community. Because I know everybody know about Black Wall Street when we had the banks and the businesses, and we grew and we had money and everything.
And they blew it up and took it down from us.
In 1920, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they blew it up. I'm gonna close on this note. This is for all young African American people. Look at it like this. Get off the couch, little man. Remember I told you about that? Come on, stand over here. You go get some candy. You want some candy? Come on, come here.
Some candy,
come here. You wanna get on TV? Come here.
Come on, Diddy.
Say what up.
Say what's up, Diddy. With PimpingKen.
I got with PimpingKen.
Alright, go get some candy, Diddy.
Yeah, that's one of my little customers.
Yeah.
He get us candy every day. You know, we try to teach him the right way.
We try to teach him the right way.
Yeah, look at it like this.
Diddy, come on, so I can finish in a bit.
Look at it like this. Look at it like this. In 1860, the eve of the Civil War, you know what I'm saying? Black folks had 2% of the wealth of this nation. Also, we comprised 70% of the incarceration. That was in 1860. Okay. In 1865, Lincoln so-called freed the slaves through the Emancipation Proclamation, but it was the 13th, the 14th, and 15th Amendment that actually freed the slaves.
Right.
You know, because in the 13th Amendment it says slavery is abolished except for one duly commits a crime. So we know the 13th Amendment deal with that, and the 14th Amendment deal with the minority issue, being that we being a minority, that the majority had to take over, had to supply and help the minority.
Right.
Okay, this is in 1865 and in 1866, the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. We were still only 2% of the wealth of this nation. We were 70% of the incarceration. 2017. We're only 2% of the wealth of this nation, and we're 70% of the incarceration. So since slavery ended, we haven't grown one iota. Of course, you know, inflation and GDP and all that, you know, money growing. We having more money than we ever had in our life. We are the richest people. We in terms of wealth. Black folks is the 10th in terms of wealth of the nation. But here's the problem. In 1865, we talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Black folks was the visiting teams, white folks was the Cowboys.
Right.
They was on the 80-yard line, we're in the end zone. Right. So every time they went for a touchdown, all they got to do is go 20 yards. Every time we go for a touchdown, we had to run the whole yard, the whole 100 yards. 1920, Black Wall Street. We made it to the 20-yard line. We had our own business, we had our own community. 1930, Great Depression, you know what I'm saying? Stock market crash. What happened? America said, everybody go for themselves. White folks, over here, black folks, we don't care. That's in 1930. We're on the 30-yard line because now they put us in the same category. White, blacks, everybody, fend for yourself.
Live from the motherfucking gridiron, DJdeedzyOCTinc. It's been a long time, man. Where you been, man? Hey, man, I've been doing my motherfucking thing. Really, man? Goddamn me. What inspires you to do what you do, man? Say, man, I just been getting to the motherfucking grizzly, man. That's how I do what I do.